Scott, I thought I would just share with you what I did with our staff via this video. I think it'll be easier. This was our assignment to work on the background vision, and so I needed to give them the update. So um, I'll show you what I took them through. I walked through this. Part of the vision frame, you had seen it, I had seen, I mean, you had kind of hinted at it. I had seen it in previous readings of Mancini. But we came back with really landing the language, and it was about mission. And we spent some considerable time right in early fall of last year working on, meet, know, and follow. And our team worked on that, and that's what we came up with. We just didn't feel like there was something better out there. Obviously, there were some two-word phrases that we saw others use, meet and follow, but meet, know, and follow, we couldn't shake. And I discovered why as we went on. So that was our mission. Our pathway, we initially had meet, grow, serve, go, which has a better cadence to it than gather, grow, serve, go. But we landed on gather, and we hammered out some uh, real distinctions between personal and corporate. This is what we're doing as a corporate church. This is what we're doing as a church. We have gather expressions, and we have grow expressions in groups. We have serve expressions, and we have go. And man, that was just really helpful. Um, and then uh, the the motivating values. We took the 11 that we had, and the same team, Landing the Language, worked through those. Gospel of grace, biblical truth, authentic relationships, um, empowered people, and radical generosity. It's amazing that I can even say them, but but we've talked about them in our staff meetings. So we worked as that team to hammer those out, to come up with some bylines. I'm going to send you all that. But I also knew that we hadn't fully addressed marks of success, so we made a subtle attempt on that. Um, and subtle, it was a direct attempt, but the answers weren't completely there. I'll get to that. So when um, at our elder retreat, we did the beyond the horizon. It was a great using God dreams. It was a great exercise. The thing I loved about Mancini is he didn't require us to start from scratch. What is your vision for God's church? He, with his 10,000 hours, was able to categorize advancing, becoming, overflowing, these categories with subcategories in it. And I thought to myself, our elders can read the book, read the examples, and say, who has God made us? And it was, we do a number of things, but we are an advancing church. That was pretty clear through people, group penetration. We got hung up on with our missional folks on the exclusivity of that phrase and the way Mancini highlights it in his book. He uses Northwest Bible, and Neil Tomba came out of the chapel, and many of us remember Neil back in the day. He was with Cru, but that was. I went over the elder retreat, and we bogged down before we got to our one sentence. I came out of that retreat and I said, hey guys, here are two one sentence revisions. I can send you those as a chance to review. Um, can you pick one so that we can then build a beyond the horizon vision, which I'm going to send you? But that was the process. We decided on 10 years, starting in 2020. In 2020, I'll be 57. So 10 years takes me, way out there. But that seemed to be the appropriate time based on what they said. And then this PowerPoint, this keynote, and this day was to work on background, um, trying to be ready for you. 4 points of focus. And I'll send you those, but I wanted to give you this. So as I talked about it, I went through these pieces so that everybody could understand it without having to read the book that was involved. And I went through um, what I just did with you, vision that advances. It says take it through people penetration, vision that rescues, vision. I went over all of those and showed them the ones that we landed on. Man, let me tell you, those 2 points, those 2 rails, I mean, it was like rails for something wrong. We immediately saw movement and clarity through people group penetration and through spiritual formation. And spiritual formation, that value, that piece of who we are as a church, is why we had to have gather, grow, serve, go. That's why we had to have meet, know, and follow. We didn't know it as we were developing that, but that's why. And I kept telling our team, we're repairing the plane as we fly it. We're going at this in real time. We can't build it sequentially. We have some old parts that need to be replaced. We have some new parts that need to be added, and we're moving the whole time. Repairing the plane as you fly it. It's quite the task. So I reviewed that, and then we took them through here. Here's our Beyond the Horizon of Vision. I thought it was really good. I know you can probably read it faster than I can read it to you, but just I want you to listen to it. God has shown us a world yet to be saturated with the gospel, and a city and campus yet to be fully reached, sent to reach it. So there's the sending. He has commissioned us into this world. Therefore, for the next 10 years, we will do whatever it takes to help people meet, know, and follow Jesus on the campus, in the city, and throughout the world. And we will maximize our growth capacity in Baton Rouge in order to maximize, excuse me, I'm so sorry, maximize our sending capacity. That was a nice phrase. I'm sorry if you're listening to all this. Hold on just a minute. Woo. We're confident that we can lead and care for thousands from all backgrounds of the chapel. It's a statement of what our capacity is, our seating capacity, our service capacity, our shepherding capacity. We also believe we can baptize hundreds and meet Jesus every year across our locations. To do this, we will empower our people to pray for and invest in, invite their family, their neighbors, their co-workers in an encounter with Jesus that highlights our evangelism strategy that we developed coming out of our strata that I had on the shelf. We know that when the chapel is fully engaged and unified around the purpose and empowered by the Holy Spirit, it won't be stopped. Everyone will be led into a pathway. That's our map, uniquely designed to help them continually grow as a follower of Jesus. We envision this growth in the context of relationships in a community group in every neighborhood and a discipleship group in every community group. That's some vision about that grow piece. We are unique in that God has placed us on a campus at the heart of the city, and we imagine we will manage that responsibility diligently. That is a huge statement about what God has done and continues to do. LSU is filled with people confused about Jesus, but when we meet the real Jesus, and they will be poised to go out as the next generation of disciple makers, leaders of this state and nation, and uniquely positioned to go into the hard to reach places of the world. And it's just, as long as there are people in languages without access to the life-changing message of Jesus, we will continue to send. Excuse me just a minute. We will continue to send. To that end, we are committed to launching hundreds of laborers. And then we haven't really developed this, plant churches among parts of the world that still have not heard and won't hear unless someone goes. We worked on it. We moved the paragraphs around. We really liked it. Then we took this that you started and worked through it, and just took these right out of the book and worked on them, so it was really good. I'm going to send you the rest of that and this shortly. Thanks, man.